Folks, lots of drama today in New Jersey as Newark Mayor Ras Baraka was arrested at an ICE detention facility. Pull the audio up.
I'm not letting you. You cannot push. You cannot push. You cannot push. You want to get back? You know, Congressman, get over her. Member of Congress coming on brown shirt. Thank you.
Now, they were there protesting this facility, claiming that it was open illegally and in violation of local ordinances. A number of people said that Congresswoman Bonnie Coleman Johnson, as a matter of fact, y'all call her so we can get her on the phone, was roughed up in the process. This is Robert Menendez Jr., of course, the son of the disgraced United States senator, who's now a member of Congress, who was talking about what took place. Listen.
I can't begin to describe what happened here today. It started as part of our core functions as members of Congress to conduct oversight of ICE and privately run detention centers, where we waited patiently for over an hour and a half. Just waited to do what we've done together at Elizabeth Detention Center. We waited. And then we only saw action taking place outside where we were waiting, not knowing what was happening. We walked out to see what was going on. We saw Mayor Baraka out here by himself, mayor of the largest city in New Jersey, waiting for us to come back. ICE brought to meet the mayor of Newark over 20 armed individuals. 20 armed individuals to confront the mayor of Newark, along with 3 members of Congress. It was an act of intimidation. It was an act of intimidation not just to the mayor, not just to us, but to everyone watching. We know what ICE has been doing in our communities. We know that the president lied and this administration lies every day when they're saying they're going after criminals. It is not true. They feel no weight of the law. They feel no restraint on what they should be doing. And that was shown in broad daylight today when they not just arrested the mayor of Newark, but when they put their hands on 2 members of Congress who are standing behind me. How is this acceptable to anyone in this country? How is this acceptable? I fight along with these 2 incredible women every day for the people of New Jersey. We fight for the country that we should be. What we saw today is the country that we live in under Donald Trump and his Department of Homeland Security, under his ICE, does not reflect who we are as a country. It reflects everything wrong with the moment that we're in. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable and should shake every American to the core, to their core, to our collective core, that this happened today here in the city of Newark, the most inclusive city in New Jersey, with the mayor who represents the city, with the congresswoman who represents the city, and with Bonnie Watson Coleman, who's fought for the people of New Jersey her entire distinguished career. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable.
This is the reality of what we're living in. This is who these thugs are. And look, this reminds me of going back to Jim Crow days, folks, of Sheriff Jim Clark, of course, who was the head of the state police in Selma. This is who that was. You got Sheriff Jim Clark, who had no problem cracking skulls and beating black protesters. Then you got Bull Connor, of course, who was there, that absolute racist in Birmingham as well. That's who the Trump administration is. We said this earlier. They do not care about the law. They don't care about any of this. All they care about is power. And so that's what we're dealing with. Candace, there is no doubt that Donald Trump, Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, and all of these thugs today, they are nothing more than they are the 21st century version of Jim Clark and Bull Connor.
And listen, we see the seeds that they've been planting growing. Why? Because if you take a look at some of the headlines say that they were protesting, that they stormed the facility. And that's why the executive branch wants to take control of the media, because then they are created a narrative in order for them to act.
This is the statement from DHS. Today, as a bus of detainees were entering the security gate of Delaney Hall Detention Center, a group of protesters, including 2 members of Congress, stormed the gate and broke into the detention facility. The members, Robert Menendez Jr. and Bonnie Watson Coleman, and multiple protesters are holed up in a guard shack, the first security checkpoint. These members of Congress storming into the detention facility goes beyond bizarre political stunt and puts the safety of our law enforcement agents and the detainees at risk. Members of Congress are not above the law and cannot illegally break into detention facilities. Had these members requested a tour, we would have facilitated a tour of the facility. This is an evolving situation. We all know that's a lie, Candace, because we've had members of Congress trying to tour numerous other facilities all across the country, and Trump's people have like, nah, y'all ain't coming in.
That's right. And so, listen, if you look at the video, Ras is outside. All right. He is outside. The mayor is outside of the gate. He hasn't even gotten in. Like Menendez was saying, we were meeting him, and that had not happened. We did not know what was going on the other side. The other thing is that this is part of the process. They have congressional oversight to make sure that if you're building a new facility that has 1,000 beds, that you have the right permits. So it's within their purview. It's within their right. In fact, it's their responsibility to be there to make sure that they are actually doing what they're supposed to do, which they were not. Now, if you look at it, too, why was he the only one that was arrested? I mean, if you think about him running for governor, I would imagine that has something to do with it. This is when you don't want too much power to go unchecked. I think that is what is happening. Otherwise, they would have arrested everybody there. They just arrested the mayor. And quite frankly, there was no reason for it. He hadn't even made it to the facility itself and crossed the gate. So all of this is just smoke and mirrors. All of this is just a way for them to do what they want to do, distort the headlines, distort the narrative, and put out what they want. And if you look at the video, there was no action. Nobody was fighting back. There was no protest. There was no anything. It was just a matter of, why are all these people on me? For no reason at all. They were creating a reason in order to make it what we are looking at today, to make it look like there was a problem when there was not. There was no problem at all. As you said, this has been happening across the country because Trump is trying to increase the number of beds that are out there in order to bring more people in. This specific facility is very important because it's right near the Newark airport. So you have a direct line for people to come and go, all right, when they come in to send them out. So it's just a very important location. It's a big city, and it's Ras Baraka, and he is running for governor. They don't like that.
Michael?
Yeah, Roland, this whole thing is very disturbing. Number one, I posted about this soon after it happened. I read the article from NBC News, and Alina Habba, who's one of Donald Trump's former defense attorneys. She's the interim U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey. And she said that Ras Baraka has chosen to disregard the law. And, they say that, nobody's above the law, things like that, as we heard in the clip. But isn't Donald Trump in violation, and the Trump administration and Homeland Security, aren't they in violation of U.S. Supreme Court decision 9-0?
Yep.
With Kilmar Braco Garcia? Okay, it's supposed to be returned. They're in constant violation of the law, but then they want to say that no one is above the law, and they want to use the power of government to attack and intimidate. And when we look at this Delaney Hall, when we look at this detention center, according to Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, she said that this detention center was open without permission from the city of Newark, New Jersey, and is in violation of local ordinances. Now, this is a for-profit prison. It's important for people to understand that Donald Trump in his first administration and in the second administration fully supports for-profit prisons, and the stock prices of the for-profit prisons have increased since he's been back in office.
Of course,
they decreased under the Biden administration, which is why the for-profit prisons donated to Trump's campaign and the transition. It's the first term as well as the second term.
Yep. Well, that's how they're gonna roll. So again, folks, nonviolent resistance is critically important.
Did you know that the Washington Monument is based upon an ancient African structure called a tekken that comes from the mythology of Asar, Arset, and Heru, who the Greeks called Osiris, Isis, and Horus? Did you know that the panther deity Bast in the movie Black Panther and Wakanda Forever comes from an ancient African deity, a neter in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, called Bastet? Did you know that there were 17 pyramids found buried underneath Egypt around 2011? Also, the city of Memphis, Tennessee. What's the relationship between Memphis, Tennessee and Memphis in ancient Egypt? I'm historian and national political commentator Michael Imhotep. Be sure to register for my new 12-week online history course, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Kemet is one of the original names for Egypt. We deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. Did you know that the word Wakanda is a real word? We find it in the Key Congo language, which is a Bantu language, but we also find it in the Omaha Ponca and Sioux Indian Native American languages. My class starts up Saturday, March 1st, 2025, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a 12-week online history course. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. We do with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. When we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, we can't start our studying of the history in 1619 in Hampton, Virginia, or in Jamestown. We can't start in 1441 with the transatlantic slave trade starting with the Portuguese. We have to deal with thousands of years of history that leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We'll deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, who take the teachings from the Nile Valley region of Africa into Europe, and this is what brings Europe out of the Dark Ages. We'll talk about ancient African empires, whether we deal with ancient Nubia, whether we deal with Kush, Kemet, Mali, Songhai, Ghana. This is a 12-week online history course. We deal with 80 to 100 articles. There are 200 slides that I show you in the class. There are video clips. There are 15 books that we reference. You don't have to buy any of the books to follow along in class. It's a very visual class, so we show you all that information right on the screen. The class is PG-13 as well, so you can use this with your children. Download my lesson plan from my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Register right now. Right now, it's correct strong behaviors, not over till we win. Wakanda forever. AfricanHistoryNetwork.com.